Welcome to the fourth and final day of X Games Aspen 2018. It has been an action-packed weekend of competition out here so far, but we are not done yet. We've got some motorized madness still to take place for you out here tonight. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jimmy Coleman, standing alongside Chris Barant, and we come to you tonight with a brand new event. X Games pushing progression out here. Not only is it a brand new event here for the X Games, this event has never been contested before. We're talking about snow bike best trick, and one of the guys leading that charge, he came into this event last year doing this as a demo. Now it's a medaled event, talking about Jackson Strong.
Yeah, Jimmy, Jackson Strong, he is the innovator. Here you see him at X Games Austin 2016 with this huge front flip. Innovation, progression, that's what Jackson Strong is all about, and you're going to see that tonight. He's brought this brand new short timber sled kit to this sport. I cannot wait to see what he has in store for us tonight.
Yeah, and that front flip you saw right there, that got him a gold medal there at X Games Austin in 2016. There are 8 riders in the lineup here tonight, and these guys, they come from all avenues of action sports. We've got veteran freestyle motocross riders. We've got snowmobilers, both racers as well as freestylers, and we've even got a mountain biker in the mix out here tonight.
Speaking of that mountain biker, Ethan Roberts, triple backflip on a mountain bike. Are you kidding me? I cannot wait to see what he has for us tonight.
Oh, and by the way, Brett Turcotte coming into this event, this is his 3rd one of the weekend, and he happens to have 2 gold medals already tonight, or coming into this event tonight. So, well, there's going to be some modified kits out here. It's basically a dirt bike with these track kits that they put on. There's several different types of kits that you can get, and for more on that right now, we're going to take a look at a piece called the Polaris X Games Gear Check.
This year at Winter X Games, for the first time ever, we have a timber sled best trick contest. We're going to see 3 different types of timber sleds. This is a traditional one. It's a 120, kind of used in the mountains and used for racing. So with the timber sled, the suspension's in the track, and I think this is really good to make like a really smooth ride, but especially for the racing, things like that. Then we have a modified 120 track, which is just shortened from a 120. It makes it possible to do flips because the wheelbase is a little shorter. And lastly, we have my prototype. This is something I've been working on for pretty much a year now, and it moves just like a dirt bike. That's kind of the way the concept I had in my mind when I started building it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it works. So I think out there, we're going to see a lot of guys on the longer timber sleds doing sort of body varials and maybe upright tricks, and then the guys with the short and down tracks, I think that side of the field is going to be doing flips. So it's going to be a really, really cool contest, and I'm just excited to get on the snow.
So Jackson Strong giving you the thorough breakdown of the apparatus. Basically taking a dirt bike, you get these conversion kits, you take the wheels off, put the track in the back, you've got a ski on the front forks right there. And we are set to kick it off with our first competitor. He comes from a freestyle motocross background. This is his 2nd X Games appearance, first winter one. This is Brody Wilson.
So when we talk about the kit configuration, Brody is riding a standard kit, which means he's planning to do an upright trick, which you saw right there. Talking to him in practice, what he wanted to throw was a holy grab. And looks like he ends up getting the double grab. So interesting to see. Maybe he's getting comfortable with the ramp and the setup tonight. Look for him to let go of the bike totally in that 2nd run.
Well, the way it works, they're each going to get 2 runs, and it's the better of your 2 runs that count. Now, watching earlier in practice today, Brody looked like he was having a little bit of issues. That gap set at about 40 feet from that metal takeoff to that snow landing, and he was coming up short, you see those die lines right there. He was having some troubles getting over that. The best possible score you can get is a 100. We have 5 judges that are in our judging booth tonight, working off a 100-point scale. The highs and the low scores are thrown out. The remaining 3 are averaged together. We'll see what Mr. Wilson checks in here. Our first out of 8 athletes here in this first ever contested event in the snow bike best trick category. So Brody Wilson with a 70.66. Keith Sayers, another guy who comes from a freestyle motocross background. He's a bit of a show pony. This guy spends a lot of time in the summertime traveling around doing freestyle motocross demos, also snowmobile demos. He's out of Butte, Montana, so we welcome in Keith Sayers.
Yeah, Keith has great style. I love his extension on his tricks. That's such a cool trick. I mean, you're basically letting go of the bike completely, sideshow, pedaling next to it. Here you're going to see him letting go of the handlebars completely, grabbing it in and coming back in for the landing.
always taking a bit of a gamble when you're completely letting go of the bike when you're in the air. Taking another look at it here from head on so you can fully appreciate what he's doing here in that trick. And you see, again, you look at those die lines, you want to land past those. That's the sweet spot. And it looks like maybe something came off of the track there when he landed, Chris.
Yeah, it looks like Keith landed super hard right there. He's looking down at the bike to see if something potentially broke on impact.
Well, that's another crazy thing about these modified kits, especially with Jackson Strong. When you saw in that video, these guys do a lot of the modifications themselves, so it's not an exact science at this point. Axel Hodges, this guy right here, he is an all-around talented individual. This guy can ride snow bikes, snowmobiles, he can skateboard, wakeboard. This guy can do it all, and he makes it look really, really good.
Yeah, Axel is actually an alternate, so he got the call. Not super prepared for this event, but like you mentioned, Axel is just so dialed on a bike, and it's awesome to have him out here.
Yeah, he was actually in our snow bike snowcross event that we had on Saturday afternoon, so I had a decent showing out there in the race yesterday afternoon. This guy definitely known for his Moto X free riding skills, and he's one of the fastest up-and-coming talents on the scene. He's actually took a silver in the 2017 X Games Real Moto video contest last year.
Yep, going for just a nice, styly indie grab right here. Axel, if you haven't seen it, just released his new edit, Sleigh Ground 2, at Jeremy McGrath's place, which was absolutely insane.
Oh, that dirt half pipe out there was absolutely ridiculous. So he's going to check in with a 64 flat. So that'll put him in third place as of right now. We've got Rob Adelberg due up next, but before he takes his first jump, let's catch up with him in this Zell What Moves Me.
Hi, I'm Rob Adelberg. I'm 29 years old and I'm from Lurg, Victoria, Australia. I'm a freestyle motocross rider. I've been riding freestyle for the last 15 years. I've competed all around the world on my dirt bike. Got 2 silver medals with X Games, and I've been working hard to bring one of my best tricks to the snow bike. To get myself a gold at the Winter X would be a great first stop. The first snow bike FMX that I seen was Eclipse of Jacko. He sent me some of him doing some upright tricks, and then not long after that he sent me one of him flipping it. So that was my introduction. It feels a lot different to my normal motocross bike. It's quite a big change. There's a lot of new variables. So I'm excited to get up the snow, put a ski on the front and really have a crack.
Believe it or not, Rob is a veteran of the world of freestyle motocross, but he's new to snow bikes. He'd never ridden one prior to this month. He's actually spent the better part of this month training with Jackson Strong out in Southern California. Let's see what he can put down on his first of 2 attempts.
Jimmy, I'm pretty excited about this. Rob is going for a body varial, the California roll. Come on, stick it.
Pulls it clean the first time around. He's done that plenty of times before on a dirt bike, but he gets it done here on a snow bike on his first run here in Snow Bike Best Trick.
It's so funny, talking to him at practice, he said, you know what, I'm not very comfortable with this on the snow bike, so it doesn't really matter if I practice it or not. I'm just going to pull it tonight under the lights.
Well, that was absolute perfection. You see him taking off, that left hand comes back to the cutouts. You see right there at that angle, it's perfect. And then he spins around and gets right back in the seat, and you couldn't ask for a better landing on that, Chris.
What's so gnarly is, yes, the trick, the execution, that's something, but Rob was so concerned about coming into the ramp with one hand that that was his biggest concern. So awesome, huge trick for Rob Adelberg.
Well, that was one of the crazy things he said. When you're hitting that ramp with the ski, it kind of tends to like make the handlebars twist a little bit. So that was a great run there for Rob Adelberg with an 89 flat. That'll put him in the #1 position as of right now. But remember, we've got several other riders still to go, including this gentleman who comes in with 2 gold medals already, Brent Turcotte. And look at that quote right there from Instagram, looking to build on this momentum tonight. So you guys can get social with X Games and check out quotes from athletes on both Instagram and Twitter. And Brent Turcotte chasing that 3rd gold medal, but he's going to have to go up against this gentleman right here, Jackson Strong, who's having some problems with that snow bike.
This track blew off my lacing was too worn out, and luckily enough the guys at Timbersled had a spare track and we cut it down. We're putting a lacing on it now, trying to get back out there for the contest. It's like we're trying to do a 5-hour job in about 40 minutes, so I'm just throwing spinners everywhere trying to get it done. It's on! Woo!
So Jackson Strong and the crew working hard on that snow bike here. We'll see him and more when we come back to X Games Aspen. Well, I mentioned the word progression earlier when we came on air and talked about this event. All the way back in 1999, freestyle motocross made its debut at X Games 5 in San Francisco. And if you can believe it or not, at one point in time, we actually did freestyle motocross here in Aspen in the snow. Riders did these tricks with studded tires. Jackson Strong told X Games host Jack Matrani that he used to watch dirt bikes on the snow at X Games winter events as a kid at the family farm during the Australian summer back home in Lockhart. He said, I watched them jumping with ice tires, and to me that was really cool. It was like a whole different world. So when he heard that Snow Bike Cross would debut at X Games Aspen 2017, he promptly got to work arranging a one-man snow bike trick demo on the snowmobile freestyle course. And here we are in 2018, and it's a medaled event, Chris.
Well, I am so excited to have a new event. We talk about progression with X Games, and it's synonymous. Man, and talk about progression, we have Robert Haslam here up next. Robert is actually going to be running a kit that this is the first short track kit, and what the purpose of this is to get upside down.
He's the owner of Jet City FMX in Seattle. He spends a lot of time performing freestyle demos around Seattle and the Pacific Northwest. He is an X Games rookie. And again, it's 2 runs here. It's the better of your 2 runs that count. And here we go with Robert Haslam. Oh, that was a good save. He was way into the bars on that landing.
Came up, under-rotated just a little bit. During practice, he was doing a bunch of stock flips, just getting comfortable. Looks like he was going for a super flip or tsunami flip, potentially, trying to get that a flip combo.
Yeah, you can see right there, tentative on that one, and had to get the feet back into position, knowing that that landing was coming up fast.
Came in a little nose heavy.
And you see the compression on that ski there, but look at where he's got his hips in the bars. That could have been really, really nasty, so that was a great save right there by Robert Haslam. Your current leader, Rob Adelberg, he did that body variant, the California roll, sitting in the #1 position with an 89 flat. The best possible run score you can get out here tonight is a 100, and Mr. Haslam's going to check in with a 75 there to put him in 2nd place. We mentioned a mountain biker in the mix. This gentleman right here, Ethan Roberts, an X Games rookie. He is a Nitro Circus live performer since 2008, mostly doing freestyle mountain bike tricks. First to land the tsunami double backflip on a mountain bike. Let's see what he can get done here in Aspen on a snow bike, Chris.
Well, something I'm curious to see here, he's got flip levers on this bike. He's the only competitor to have those. Oh! Going for the heel clicker combo. Looks like he tried to fit one more trick in there at the end.
Going for a multi-trick combo move there. Let's see replay here where this went wrong.
Good extension with the heel clicker here. Let's see. Yep.
It looked like he was trying to throw another variation in, but then when you see that slow-mo, he's just trying to find the exit point, just trying to get away from that bike in the rotation.
So awesome to see these guys. They're so crazy. I mean, you know, to basically go from throwing stock flips in practice and then under the lights, it's go time. Time to push the progression.
Well, you see how he swung those legs over the seat trying to get away from that thing, and that's priority #1 at that point. When it's going wrong, you just want to get away from the machine at that point. So, tough break there for Ethan Roberts, but good to see him up and okay, and hopefully that bike will be able to run, and hopefully he'll be able to take a 2nd run. Our next competitor is having one heck of a weekend. This is his 3rd event he's competing in this weekend, and his last 2, he walked away with gold medals in each. Talking about Brent Turcotte.
Yeah, Turcotte was just on another level, just showing the world that he's ready to take this freestyle sport by storm.
Well, that was speed and style, and that was on Thursday night. Then on Friday night, he went for it again and unleashed a brand new one on us in freestyle.
Man, double gold. Brett's just, he was in disbelief. He had no idea that he was capable of doing this, and now he has a chance to make history at Winter X, winning potentially 3 gold medals.
Well, here we go. The first. We'll see what he can do here on his first of 2 outings here. This is Brett Turcotte.
Looks like Brett with a, oh, pull it, oh!
Just riding out of that, hanging off the back of the bike, and ends up into the snow fencing there, but he springs up right away after that.
Looks like Brett went for a one-handed backflip there, landed a little far down the landing, and what happened when he slipped off the bike, let's take a look here.
It looked like that hand coming off was almost an afterthought, like he wanted something else and decided, all right, I'm gonna throw a one-hander in this flip.
So as he comes down, he over-rotates actually just a little bit, landing a little further down the landing. We'll be able to see here. Basically getting off the side of the bike and then just holding on for dear life. Grabbed a little bit of handful of throttle there, and glad to see Brett okay there.
Tangled up in the branding there, but good to see him up and riding away from that one. But that was wild right there. And again, hopefully the bike will be in good enough shape for him to take run number 2. Again, coming in with 2 gold medals, trying to make it 3 in a row. There's a look at Jackson Strong, who we've been talking about since the top of the show. He caught up with Jack Matrani here in Aspen earlier this week in this edition of Athletes in Wranglers.
Jacko! Hey, how are we?
Long time no see. Bring it in, dude.
How are you?
Let's do it. You ready?
Can I drive?
Absolutely. Why not?
I was born to do this.
We're about to find out. So you've been a pioneer now in this new sport, snow bike, best trick. What's that been like?
I think we're right now in some really exciting stages of developing a whole new sport.
In at Aspen is on your left, was on your left, you just passed it.
Don't trip, I know where we're going. Doing the same thing every day just gets boring. I'm an adventure enthusiast.
Oh, yep, I could tell. Okay. I've heard you say you love to win, but you hate to play it safe.
I think that those two things kind of don't work together. If you've put all that work in, you're not going to go there and play it safe. You can't play it safe to win.
Right.
If you want to win, you got to put it all on the line.
We made it, safe and sound. Good luck out there.
Thank you. That was
See you around.
Cheers.
Well, we've been talking about him, and he's got one of those shortened tracks. And as you saw in that video piece before we went to commercial, they've been working on that thing all day. He was having some troubles with that earlier this afternoon after practice. What in the world do you think Jackson Strong is going to bring to this event, Chris?
Well, the beauty is I have no idea. I love his charisma. I love his style. I mean, this is so awesome. I mean, Jacko took this sport by the hand and said, you know what, I'm coming out and I'm going to be the innovator of this.
And if you're wondering why the shorter track, it's basically so it feels exactly like it does when he's on his dirt bike, so he can pretty much take everything he does on a dirt bike and try to do it here in the snow.
This is a huge trick, whether you're on a snow bike or a dirt bike. Big Cordova black backflip, stomping out that landing.
Take another look at it. Got lost the camera shot right there, but that was absolute perfection on that and landing pretty much in the sweet spot on the knuckle of landing, and it just looks absolutely wild. That thing wasn't sounding so great in practice earlier today, but they got that thing running, and he's there in the comp. So with an 86.33, that'll put him in second place at the end of round number 1. Well, our next NBA Wednesday doubleheader has Kyrie and the Eastern Conference leading Celtics hosting the Unicorn, Kristaps Porzingis and the Knicks at 8 p.m. Eastern. Then the Mavs take on Devin Booker and the Suns. Our coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 7 on ESPN, then the ESPN app. We've got one round in the books here from Snowbike Best Trick, and as of right now, it's Australian Rob Adelberg sitting in the lead. Remember, it's 2 runs apiece, the best run that counts. There's still a gold medal up for grabs. We'll have round 2 when we come back to Aspen.
too long. I've been quiet for too long. I found peace in
The dimension has totally changed with bullying nowadays, you know, directed through social media, because it doesn't matter, you know, how old you are, where you're from, you can get a hold of somebody.
People say a lot of hurtful things over just, you know, the keyboard.
They're probably jealous, some people, and they don't like themselves, and then they bully other people to feel better.
Shred hate's really cool, and people just need to let their shredding and skills and actions do the talking, and don't worry what people say on the internet, because it's just a cheesy way of trying to get under people's skin. It's not cool at all.
The Shred Hate Initiative, a really cool anti-bullying initiative here at the X Games family. You can find out more by checking it out at xgames.com. We are here live at Buttermilk Mountain, fourth and final day of X Games Aspen 2018. We've completed round one here in Snowbike Best Trick. It's Rob Adelberg currently sitting in the lead, but before we get to round two action, let's check in right now with our reporter in the field, Diana Dahlgren, who has a special guest.
That's right, the 2017 Daytona 500 winner in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, Kurt Busch. Kurt, a little out of your element here tonight. How are you enjoying X Games Snowbike Best Trick?
First of all, these guys are nuts. Let's just get that out of the way. But no, it's just fun to come out and see motorsports of all different kinds. And these guys here are true athletes with just the creativity on their jumps, but also these bikes, on how they built them, their approach with it. And I'm just stoked to see these guys out here, and they're all supporting one another. They're all doing something so nuts like this, but that's just the Monster Energy lifestyle. We're all out here having fun, and it's a little chilly out here. I was at Supercross last night in the desert. It was a little warmer, but just having some fun, taking in motorsports, and I got a Vegas test session with my NASCAR car coming up next week. So I get the Monster Energy car ready for that, and Daytona, it's a couple of weeks away.
Awesome, thank you very much. Kurt Busch, everyone. Chris, Jimmy, back to you guys.
I was actually shocked to see him out here. I saw some social media posts like, wait a minute, he's at Supercross in Phoenix, and then I saw he was posting on social media that he's here. That's pretty impressive, though. When you got a guy that makes a living going 200 miles an hour telling you that you're nuts, that's a pretty good hats off to these athletes out here, Chris.
I think Kurt is gnarly enough to be able to throw a helmet on, and he could go hit that ramp.
Hey, Kurt, maybe you could be out here in 2019 here in Snowbike Best Trick. Here we go, round number two. Brody Wilson coming your way.
Yeah, there it is. Brody's been wanting this trick all through practice. Gets the holy grab. He's going to be stoked on that. Something that he wanted to come here and do.
Well, he's another one of the guys that hasn't been riding on one of these things for very long. He first got on a snow bike in December of last year. He's been practicing at the foam pit at his parents' house in Massachusetts.
I love this trick. Huge extension, just letting go of the bike completely, coming back to your grab holes, pulling back in.
And that's the kind of style that we're used to seeing out of Brody Wilson on a dirt bike and bringing it to the snow here. And he gets an improvement on the score of 74.66. That'll move him up one spot. He was in fifth pre-run, so that'll slide him into fourth place right now, just behind Robert Haslam. So nicely done there in round number two by Brody Wilson. So again, 8 riders in the lineup out here tonight. They're getting 2 runs. This is round number 2. It's the better of your 2 runs that count. We're down to our final 6 because Keith Sayers is going to be out of the lineup. He had a mechanical issue after landing harsh. Would look like a piece came off of his track. So due to mechanical issue, he's going to be out here for round number 2. So that's going to bring up 21-year-old Axel Hodges out of Encinitas, California. We mentioned it before in his first run. This guy has got style from miles. He can pretty much ride anything, and he just makes it look so dialed and so easy.
Yeah, again, with Axel just being an alternate, I think he's just coming out here having fun, showing some style. Got a little combo there through the bars into the side. Like a...
Have to see that again. We kind of lost him in the lights there in real time. So the heel clicker. And then he goes, yeah, to go to the double can there. So your two trick in one no-footed combo move right there for Axel Hodges. By the way, he said he has a real Moto silver medal from last year at X Games. He also owns an X Games Best Whip silver medal from X Games Austin 2016. And again, check out that Slay Ground 2 video online. It went online Monday, January 22nd. It's absolutely amazing to see what this guy can do on a dirt bike. So a 67.66 for him, so that'll leave him out of podium contention for right now. And this is your current leader, Rob Adelberg. He brought the California roll, that body varial. Do we possibly see a variation of that? You think Rob Adelberg tries to throw another topping into the mixer, Chris?
Well, that was a big score, but he has seen what Jackson's been working on, so I think he's got to try to one-up what he did in that first round.
Well, and especially since these two have been training together a lot over the last month, you know that's probably sitting in the back of Rob Adelberg's head right now.
Looks like he was just content with that big score.
So Rob, one of the handful of riders here in the lineup that's riding one of those stock timber sled kits. That's why you see he has that longer track compared to some of the riders we've seen in the latter half of the lineup.
Well, basically just set it out to Jackson. Said, well, Jacko, you're going to have to come up with something a little bigger than your first round.
It's a chess match now. He's left the door open for his riding buddy there, his fellow countryman. So we'll have to see what happens. Obviously, with that California roll from the first go-around, Rob's going to stick with that first-run score, but it's Adelberg, Strong, and Haslam, your top three here with a handful of riders left to go. We're actually down to our final four. This gentleman right here, he's currently sitting in a bronze medal position. That'd be a nice way to start your X Games career. We mentioned earlier, X Games rookie. It'd be nice to get to your first one, walk out of here with some hardware around your neck.
Robert has spent a ton of time in the foam pit doing huge tricks like KOD flips, tsunami flips, all on his snow bike. Let's see if those lights of Aspen give him the confidence to pull one of those right now to take over the first spot.
Lining up for his second and final hit. Oh, and again, a rough landing, but he saves that one. He's 2 for 2 on the rough landing, but rides away from that one unscathed yet again.
So this will be interesting. This was a super flip. Great pull off the ramp. Good extension for, again, it's a 40-foot gap. Comes in a little nose heavy. The judges are going to dock him on the landing. Good execution of the trick.
A great shot of it right there, just poking those legs back behind him. Again, just look at how far into the bars he was. He was leaning so far forward. I have no idea how he rode out of that one. He's been training with Canadian rider Kyle DeMello to prepare for this event. Kyle out with a torn Achilles, so we send out a speedy recovery and a well wishes to Kyle DeMello. So an 80.33. So that'll roll up the score, keep him in third as of right now.
Wild card time. Ethan Roberts.
Yeah, here we go.
This dude is not afraid to go big. He's got a huge arsenal of tricks from his mountain bike background.
He's actually been helping Jackson Strong develop the custom snow bike kits for this freestyle event, and he's in for his second and final attempt. It looked like as he was approaching the ramp that he was getting a little loose. The front end, you could see it swabbing around a little bit as he was making his way towards the takeoff.
Got a little squirrely right there.
Yeah, right there. It was a perfect shot of that.
Oh, still pulled it. Heel clicker backflip. That looked gnarly.
Look at how off axis he is right here. Look at the way he's drifting.
Talk about commitment. Sticks the landing.
I have no idea how he saved that riding into the takeoff and how absolutely off axis he was, as you saw from that head-on replay shot. I have no idea how he pulled that one around.
That's why the future of this sport is so bright, is because when you get guys like Ethan Roberts, who has minimal time on a bike and can go out and do tricks like this, that is awesome.
So that's an 80 flat. That moves him up. He was in 6th pre-run. That'll get him all the way up to 4th place, but it's not enough to get him in podium contention. So with 2 riders left to go, one of them is on the outside of the top 3 looking in. That is Brett Turcotte. So it's Adelberg, Strong, and Haslam, your top 3. Jackson Strong is going to get to ride last. He will be the last rider we see. But Brett Turcotte, we mentioned this earlier, he earned himself a gold medal in snowmobile speed and style on Thursday night. He earned another gold medal in freestyle on Friday night. Can he medal again here tonight? So again, Adelberg sitting in that top spot with an 89 flat. Jackson Strong, as we mentioned before, will get the luxury of riding last. We'll see what happens here with Mr. Turcotte. His 9th X Games appearance here in 2018. And the big story for him, back-to-back gold medals.
Yeah, Turcotte's obvious determination was to come in here and win gold with snowmobile freestyle and speed and style. But still, super gnarly. Up until this event, Brett was one of only 2 guys in the world to have backflipped a snowbike.
And that just goes to show you the crazy learning curve for these riders. Only 2 of them coming in, having done backflips prior to this. We had a handful of them that were flipping in practice, so he gets the handoff there. Gets it around, manages to stay on the bike this time around.
I think what's going to be crazy is when we start seeing Brett get comfortable on the bike flipping like he does on his sled. And when we start seeing KOD flips and tsunami flips, because it's only a matter of time. With the sport being in its infancy here, that's what's so exciting.
Well, look at the curve that we've had from last year. As we mentioned before, this was a demonstration event last year. I remember because I called this live event on the mountain with Jackson Strong, and it's evolved so much in just 1 year. So imagine how much more this is going to evolve, especially with these guys modifying these shorter tracks. I mean, the sky is the limit with this right now.
That's what's so exciting. And
there's Rob Adelberg, your current leader, sitting in the top spot with an 89 flat by virtue of that California roll, which is a body varial variation. He did it round number 1. This is your final rider. He's looking at a silver medal. Can he trade up and take the gold? It all comes down to this as we welcome in Jackson Strong.
And Jackson does not know the word conservative. Oh! Went for the cliffhanger. Oh my goodness, claiming the...
Jackson's motto is, I love to win, but I hate to play it safe. So you never know what this guy's going to do.
So it looked like Jackson went for the cliffhanger flip. You know, with this 40-foot gap, it gives limited time for the guys to pull off their tricks. Let's see. So he does let go of the bike. Obviously not quite the full extension that we're used to seeing on dirt. Oh, again, I say this every time. I'd hate to be a judge. That's such a gnarly trick.
And as you mentioned, he just didn't get completely extended on that.
Look at him right here, claim it.
Oh, man. Throws the hands up to claim it, and then ends up getting ejected up to the left side. But
oh, the smile underneath that helmet.
How happy he must be, you know, being at the forefront of this movement. Like I've said, it was a demonstration event last year, and now it's a medaled event, and he gets an 86.33, so a second higher run score. However, it's not going to be enough to unseat his countryman and riding buddy, so Rob Adelberg is going to walk out of here, his first ever Winter X Games appearance, and he's going to take home a gold medal. Jackson Strong with the silver, and how about Robert Haslam coming in, X Games rookie, and he takes a bronze. So let's send it downstairs to Diana, who's with our winner.
Congratulations. He barely has any time on the snow bike, comes in, takes his first gold medal. Congratulations, Rob Adelberg. Walk us through the first round tonight.
Yeah, for me it was all or nothing. I wasn't going to wait until the second jump. I was nervous. I hadn't done the trick on the snow bike, and it all worked out good, and I rode away, so here I am. Thanks to all my sponsors for helping me out to help me get here. Jackson Strong for basically pioneering the snow bike. Yeah, Rockstar, Meta Militia, Troy Lee, thanks a lot.
He's walking away with his first gold medal, Rob Adelberg.
Well, I guess all that time hanging out with Jackson Strong in Southern California's paid off, because his first ever winter appearance, he walks out of here with a shiny gold medal. But what a great night. And I mean, progression's the word we've been talking about quite a bit out here. And I can't even imagine where this goes next year and beyond.
I mean, that's why I love X Games so much. X Games gave me my first gold in 2007 for an event much like this. And it's amazing how freestyle has changed.
Well, when it's all said and done, it's Adelberg, Strong, and Haslam, your 1, 2, 3. But we are not done yet. Coming up next, we've got the Harley-Davidson snow hill climb. But first, let's listen in to find out how this event came to be here at X Games.
Hill climb racing over the first few decades of the 20th century was a distinct motorcycle culture and a grassroots homegrown phenomenon that grew out of the passion of riders for their evolving sport and the camaraderie that developed around early motorcycling activities. Thrill-seeking and the competitive spirit drove the creation of clubs and organized competitions, like board track racing and hill climb. Organized hill climb came into popularity in the 1920s and 30s. The courses that the riders braved varied in pitch, from moderate ascents to near vertical inclines. Nearly 100 years later, the hill climb has not changed very much. That is until now. The Harley-Davidson Snow Hill Climb. This will be the first ever running of hill climb race on snow. 2 riders, side by side. First one to the top brings home X Games gold.